back to my channel. My name is Cable James. Today we're going to be installing some hardwood flooring, 3/4 inch hardwood flooring. The width of those is 2 1/4. But first, before we start install, you can see we already take off most of the carpet with the padding and the tack strip. We take that out. So the next step is, one of the main things I want to show is how to remove the baseboard, because if you just rip it, it will peel the paint on the wall. So I'm going to show you how to take that off. So over here I have a utility knife, and what I'm going to do is I'm going to score just top of the baseboard all the way down. And what I'm doing, I'm breaking the paint. I'm breaking the paint so when I pry on the baseboard, it doesn't peel the paint all the way up. Alright, so we got the top of that, we break the paint. So what I'm going to do, over here I have a hammer, flat bar, and a flathead screwdriver to remove the baseboard. So we have a hammer, flat bar, and a flathead screwdriver. Hardwood flooring. Hi everyone, welcome back again. You see we remove all the baseboard. And what we're going to do at this point, we're going to be putting down the underlayment. And the underlayment, it helps protect the hardwood flooring from any moisture that may occur into the subfloor. So it kind of blocks the moisture from coming up to the hardwood flooring. And also it helps slide the flooring so the flooring could lock in faster and better. But these new kind, they build from like totally recycled material, and it's environment friendly. So we're going to be installing this just to show you how it goes. So we just want to cut the tape right here. All we do is just put it down and run it out. So the staple coming your way, coming your way. One more row, and then what I want to do is overlap by 6 inches. So we'll run this next row out once you have your overlap. And once you achieve that, you continue the process all the way to the end. So next I'm going to show you how to do the layout for your starter board, which is the hardwood flooring. Alright, so we are ready to install the first row of the hardwood flooring. And as I said, what we did was, because we have a hallway up there where the flooring coming out, they do have a threshold going across. We're not going to remove that threshold, but we want all the lines to line up in the hallway. So we figure out the number down here by pulling, and we know the board is 2¼ so we calculate to get where the front side of the board going to be. So over here I already made my mark. When it's your time to do your mark, just make sure you at least a 1/4 inch or 1/2 inch off the wall. I like to go a 1/4 off the wall because sometimes the baseboard is like 1/2 inch, so you know that gives me some room for coverage. But as you can see, my wall, which is a sheetrock, is up high, so my board gonna slide right under there. And I kind of ripped this one, but I only take a 1/4 inch off, so a 1/4 inch is gonna be under the sheetrock. And why so is that because I have, if you look further down here, these are all the stud, the 2x4, so I don't want this here to touch the 2x4, so I just cut a 1/4 just to give me a 1/4 inch space in between that. As I said, you could go up to 1/2 inch, but I personally like to use a 1/4 of an inch. And what that do is for expansion, so when it expand, it has some room to move. It doesn't buckle in between your joints. So what I'm going to do, I'm going to snap a line here and face nail this down in the back. I may repeat the process twice because the nailer don't get started until you're at least 3 rows out. And when you start shaking out your board, make sure you have at least 3 boxes open and ready to go. You don't use 1 box because you got to mix all the wood. It's different variations, so the more boxes you got open, the better it is. So we're gonna go ahead and snap a line here. My board. When you face nail this in, you could get a drill with a 1/8 bit, pre-drill a hole, then use some finish nail and nail down. I choose to use the faster route by just use my finish nailer, shoot them in just to get me going faster. I repeat that with the first 2 rows, and then after that I start using the hardwood floor nailer. So as I said, I'm going to push this in. It should stick in a bit. If I grab my tape here just real quick. So I got like a 1/4 off the wall. And I'm not touching the 2x4 in the back end right now, which is good for expansion, so the board have some room to move. This is going to be covered with baseboard later. Most of that nail that I just shot is going to be covered with the baseboard, so you won't see any of those nails. And you can see my gap here in this wall again. You want to make sure you carry those gaps. It's very very good for expansion. Baseboard will cover that. So I'm going to repeat one more step of this, then I start using my finish nailer. I'm just going to give some freedom. Hey everyone, so I just want to stop here to give you some info about the flooring. I know you see me running all this flooring all the way up. The process is very simple. You know, once you get your first row, everything lead off of that first row. So you bring everything up, and if you want, you could have some control joint where you snap across in the center. Just to see if you're running okay. But once you lock in with your first row, you should be okay running up. One other thing I want to point out is all your joints. Make sure that your joints, you know, the overlap is at least, make sure that you're nailing at least 68 inches apart. Because if you spread your nail out too far, then later you're going to get a lot of squeakiness in the floor, and you don't want that. So just keep the nails as close as possible as you can, and you know, later on you won't get called back by the homeowner. If you're the homeowner, you're not going to be annoyed by the squeakiness in the floor. Alright everyone, we're at the end of our install for flooring. We show you how we bring it up, and we're at the end to the other side of the wall. So what we do at this point is I have this last, well not the last piece, the second to last row here. I have this piece cut to fit, and what I do, I pull it in place and then use the finishing nailer and face nail it down. And then what I do, I use some plumber's, wood putty to match the color and get it in there. As you can see, there's still a space here. I have to rip that board. These here is 2 1/4 wide, so whatever this number is minus my gap for expansion, I have to rip that off to fill in here, and then the baseboard cover. So as I said, we're at the end right now, so we're just finishing up, then getting ready to install the baseboard, and pretty much this project here it's going to be 100% done. So please watch my video in full length, all my video in full length, like, subscribe to my my channel, and I see you on the next one.